Well, hello there and welcome back to another mono type battle, and it's actually a mono dart battle again. The bulky stall team is coming back out to frustrate a few more people, and I'm going up against a rain type team here actually. And a quick shout out to all those who participated in last Tuesday's giveaway there. Enjoy the ghosts, folks, and I look forward to seeing you all back again next Tuesday for another giveaway. Don't forget to leave your votes on what you want, either Charizard or Greninja. But back to the video, we have my Drapion actually out first. He's going to swap out and go back into his Noivern, and he throws out the Hurricane. That's 100% accuracy, of course, in the rain, which makes it a fantastic bit of synergy on my opponent's half. But I do get the Toxic Spikes up, and I do get through the confusion, and I get a knockoff. So Drapion has basically done everything I would want it to do at the minute. I'm going to get a little bit of recovery, then just decide, you know what, I can take a Hurricane. So I'm not going to let my Drapion fall here. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to go into Umbreon. Umbreon is a very, very specially defensive tank. I'm sure many of you probably know that. And mine is fully invested into special defense with Heal Bell. It's the cleric for the team. It's really there to help remove any status issues from my team and to be able to take special hits. It also sets up with Curse and Payback, just because that's a really fun set. And I really like whenever you get a chance to set up 3 or 4 curses and then just hit Payback straight through your opponent's team with this tiny little Umbreon. Obviously I'm going to get a little bit more recovery there because I'm quite bulky, but my opponent's just going to keep clicking Hurricane. As I said before, it's 100% accuracy in the rain, so he has absolutely no reason not to go for the Hurricane. He's just going to try and break through it, but there goes the Confuse Ray. That's going to allow me to start praying to the Hax gods, and hopefully I can get some free turns if he misses as the next Hurricane because of confusion. And does he miss the next one? Yes, he does. There we go, he hits himself in confusion. I've snapped out of confusion. I go for the Payback. Payback's going to hit. It's not that much damage, obviously. It does less damage when you have not been hit that turn. Not that I'm complaining, because I would not have survived another Hurricane. And fortunately, my opponent hits himself in confusion yet again. There's the Payback, and Umbreon has successfully taken on the Noivern. The whole point of the team really is for the likes of Umbreon, Sableye and Mandibuzz to try and stall out my opponents, just to hang in there, knock off items and try to stall through them. And then once I see an opportunity to swap into Honchkrow and to start setting up Moxie Sucker Punches, then I'll go for it. But obviously I can't do much against this thing here. It's going to go for maybe a Drain Punch or some Power Up Punches or something, so I'm forced to swap out. I go into Mandibuzz since that's my physical tank. It's there to stop fighting types, and look at that, even after the thing has got set up, it still can barely do enough damage to be able to 3-hit Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is just, it's so tanky on the physical side. It's really it's really crazy. Definitely recommend you would try it out if you have any if you have the need for a physical type wall. Go try out the Mandibuzz. It's absolutely great. He goes for a Drain Punch there. He does get a lot of HP back. Obviously Drain Punch does more against Pokemon with the high HP values, but I'm poisoned. I took quite a bit of damage there, and I have to go for a Roost in order to try and bring myself back up. But the poison is building up on top of me, and I realize if I stay in against this thing, I'm going to end up dropping. So my option here is to go straight out into Sableye, obviously predicting the fighting type move, making use of Sableye's ghost typing. I swap into it, and I don't go for the Mega Evolution first. If you're against the fighting type, or if you're against physical attackers, go for that Prankster instead. Make use of your Prankster, get the Will-O-Wisp applied, and then you can keep hitting Recover on the next turns, and maybe even just feign it off as if it wasn't normal Sableye. But I'm gonna go for the Mega on this turn, because once I've got him burned, he's no longer really a threat to me. So I may as well get the free stats from going for the Mega form. And look at that. That is basically nothing. Unfortunately, he does get the poison on hit. So that's about one of the only ways that you can actually status a Mega Sableye, is by going for moves with an on-hit chance, like Flamethrower with its 10% chance to burn, or Poison Jab with its chance to poison on contact. And that's how it works, because that's obviously able to get through the Magic Bounce ability. But I'm able to hit back. This thing just, doesn't have the it doesn't have any real sustain once it's burned, because its only real sustain is coming from Drain Punch. So that's the Toxicroak down. My opponent has lost 2 so far. I've got a few things poisoned on my team, but a quick heal bell from the Umbreon could take care of that, no problem. He's going to swap back into his Politoed. That sets up the rain yet again, and now he's going to start throwing out Scalds. And I realized that thing is doing plenty of damage in the rain, but it's actually more than I thought it would do. I didn't think it would be able to knock out the Sableye, so I'm predicting that this thing is choiced. Yep, it was choiced into Specs, not Scarf. That's why it had so much power, so I'm able to outspeed it and set up another layer of Toxic Spikes. Obviously the last layer I had set up were removed because of the Toxicroak. Now I'm going to go into Bisharp, and Bisharp is a very, very standard set on this one. It is a Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, and Knockoff, and look at the amount of damage it takes. It's absolutely huge, but it does survive. And there goes the huge Knockoff, +2, and absolutely going to wreck him. And it was a Damp Rock too, of all things, actually, so it wasn't even a choice Specs. So it just did a lot of damage in the rain to a Sableye. There we go. I had no idea it would be that powerful, but I'm able to outspeed here. I get the hit in, but actually it's a Rocky Helmet. It's a Rocky Helmet Kabutops. Has anyone ever seen that before? He's gonna go for the Aqua Jet. You know, of course, my Sucker Punch will outspeed him and get through, but he goes for the Aqua Jet. That hits, and now it's time to go into my Honchkrow, because I see the opportunity here to start doing some serious damage. So Kabutops goes down. That's 4 down for my opponent at this point. Really, really looking good for me here, because there's the +1 on Sucker Punch with a Roost, Sucker Punch, Brave Bird, Honchkrow, and crucially the last move that this thing has is Taunt. So I'm able to taunt any wall Pokemon that my opponent has that I know are going to try and dodge around my Sucker Punches by throwing out Leech Seed or Protect or Substitute or something rubbish like that. I'll actually taunt them. So you can taunt your opponent straight into Brave Bird, and if you think he's going to, or taunt him straight into Sucker Punch, and if he's going to attack, you go for the Sucker Punch. If you think he's going to swap out, you can go for the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird on the switch. But here is a Brave Bird. It hits a Blastoise, and it absolutely one-shots the Blastoise, but that sheer amount of HP recoil costs me the Honchkrow, and I'm not feeling too bad about it, because obviously this is him down to his last Mon now. It's a poisoned Poliwrath, but it's in the rain, and if this thing has Swift Swim, that means it's going to be really, really fast for the next few turns. He starts setting up with Bulk Up, and I'm thinking, you know what, that's a pretty good idea actually. Bulk Up obviously allows you to make use of the decent, it has decent bulk on a Poliwrath, it has decent amount of HP too, and if you've got the rain to help set it up, you can go for the Bulk Up, gain attack, gain defense, and then maybe stay in just as a really bulky, hard-hitting Mon. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have the best move pool. I've been really wanting to use it myself, and here's hoping, knock on wood, here's hoping that Pokemon Sun and Moon introduces some much-needed coverage into Poliwrath's move pool, because I think if that thing got Drain Punch, or yeah, if it got Drain Punch, or if it got access against Seismic Toss and the like, it would be absolutely fantastic. But there we go, I'm going to swap into Umbreon, and I'm simply letting others take the hits here. Crucially, I'm trying to let the poison start stacking up more damage against the Poliwrath, so I swapped out to reset the poison on the Mandibuzz and to allow his poison to start stacking up further. And yep, there it is, there's Citrus Berry. So it's Citrus Berry, bulky one. It has Waterfall, I'm assuming it has Swift Swim, and we know that it has Bulk Up, and there's an Ice Punch, so that's a huge chunk of damage, a super effective hit. And it's really, really good too for type coverage for the Poliwrath, but I'm going to stay in. I'm just going to Roost through it, and between Roost and Rocky Helmet, I'm confident that I'm going to be able to outlive this Poliwrath. And there's another little bit of poison chipping in there. He's going to drop down. I'm going to take another little chunk of poison as well. He's going to go for another Bulk Up, and I'm like, oh god. That's +3 attack, +3 defense on this thing. It's going to start getting really, really bulky. I do have the Foul Play on my Mandibuzz, so if I went for a Foul Play now, it would deal extra damage because of my opponent's boosted attack. But if he's boosting his defense as well, then it doesn't really get to apply that way. So I'm still just trying to stall out here. I know it's horrible, folks. But I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose the Mandibuzz if I could avoid it. So I see an Ice Punch coming in. Poor little Umbreon. It did so much throughout the game, and I swapped it in just to take a +3 Ice Punch to the face, just because I didn't want to let Mandibuzz go down to it. I had absolutely no use for the Umbreon, so why not? I'll swap out Mandibuzz and allow that poison a chance to reset again on Mandibuzz. And he goes for another bulk up, so he's at +4 attack and +4 defense. I go for the foul play here, figure enough screwing around, but look at that. It actually survives even then. There's the poison's gonna chip in. That's the end of the Poliwrath. That's the end of the battle. It really is I'm almost disappointed in myself. It really is an absolutely disgusting dark type stall team. It's a bit mean, but thank you for watching, folks. I will see you next time.